passing by. It's passing through. Break out the tea and crumpets. I'm home. Honey, I'm home. Break out the tea and crumpets.
Most have been dismissed as hoaxes.
Break out the tea and crumpets.
Except the letter to the citizen patrol leader, which came with a human kidney.
A human kidney?
The letter was addressed from hell. And there was no signature at the end of it. It just finishes catching.
Oh, you're just listening to it?
Yeah.
Now, with that letter was enclosed a kidney, claiming to be, by the letter writer, to have been taken from the body of Catherine Meadows.
Ooh.
It read,
Excuse me. Say excuse me.
Excuse me.
Sir, I send you half the kidney.
You're on a lot of facial hair there, boy.
Preserved it for
We
you.
gotta give you a shave.
Another piece I fried and ate.
Before you go to Nana's next time, we gotta shave you, okay?
Yep.
I
You
may
need a
send
shave. You got a lot of hair on your face.
Wait a while longer.
You feel
I know
your
I'm not
mustache?
getting snacks, but I'm only getting a Dunkin drink.
I'm not going to this show. When we're at the
The letter has been missing from the Scotland
when we're at the
Yard
field, I'm
evidence
gonna check some of my gas cards that I found.
Okay.
Well, I think some senior policeman.
Yep.
I'm stopping at Dunkin' because I need a coffee. So
But Stuart Evans owns one
get
of
something
the
if you
original
want.
copies made by
Okay.
others. The team has also obtained
It's a
other
freaking
alleged
weekend now.
it's the freaking weekend. That's
We can get
right.
Dunkin.
They found cashew letters.
You can get your donut,
I'm not a specialist in
donut.
handwriting identification. What we really need to do is we need to send these documents off to be examined by someone who's got the education, training, and experience to develop whether or not they can see discrete or nuanced similarities in the handwriting styles. It'd probably be useful to send along the Tumblety letter to see whether or not Tumblety is actually got a handwriting style that's similar to any of the ones we have in our possession.
Michelle Dressbold is a forensic handwriting expert. She has worked on numerous cases as an expert in handwriting identification and personality profiling.
Come on, Rigby, just get it over with.
Dressbold analyzed several letters gotten from the river to determine which
You
was
have
the most
until
authentic.
Friday.
I looked through all the letters, and I don't believe any of them were written by the killer. In fact, I don't believe any of the letters fit this crime, except for one letter, and that letter was signed, "Catch me when you can."
Dressbold found the front letter to be the most authentic, and she is able to identify specific personality traits of the writer from the handwriting.
So I'm looking for a handwriting that has those things in it. One of the things, we have these, they're called lower zones, lower loops. When the lower loop is so long that it invades words and lines way beneath it, you have somebody who will invade the sexual area of other people.
Dressbold also sees clues in the spelling of words.
One of the things I looked at was the spelling, the way you would pronounce
Spelling.
the words. And we have a word like Mr., preserve, and t'other. T'other was an Irish contraction. Preserve was the way an Irish speaker phonetically spelled it. This indicates to me
Yes.
that the writer had an Irish background.
Suspect Francis Tumblety was American, but his father was Irish. Dressbold then compared the letter to one written by Tumblety.
We have many, many, many similarities between the killer's handwriting and Tumblety's. More similarities than you would find in almost anybody else's handwriting.
What do you want?
One thing these two writers have in common is
Coffee roll.
word connections.
Then from Hell Letter, the killer takes the I and connects it into the word next to it. In a
Can you
very
pause that for a
weird,
minute?
unusual way.
Yeah.
I am going to help.
Hi, could I get a small hot coffee, caramel swirl, extra, extra? A French cruller and a coffee roll?
We don't have any more.
I'm sorry, you don't have any more what? Could I get a glazed stick?
We don't have a place.
Do you have a glazed?
Why you got a lighter? No glaze? Yeah, no.
No glazed? Jeez, I've gotten $1,000.
Yeah, glaze bunch?
No, how about a jelly? All right, give me 10 jelly munchkins.
That jelly bunch?
Yeah, thank you.
Someone went to a Dunkin on Menden Road.
I had to get munchkins. They don't have my donut. Tired, but I found a whole bunch of gas cards that I gotta check. Look at this thing. Like the kid's riding his skateboard.
An unusual way.
It's different.
Tumblety also connects many words into the word next to it, including his eye, which just goes into the next word. Very unusual connections. And he does this eye in many different sentences, and he does connect it to the word next to it, just like we find in the From Hell letter. Let's look at this Y. The killer has these unusual Ys that invade not just the top of the line underneath it. They
That's a cool
intersect
skateboard.
the middle of the words, and they go way beneath it. Nice, full, way too long. Look at Tumblety. Nice, big, wide. They don't just touch the top of the letter with the line underneath it. They don't just go way underneath it. They go way underneath.
They did have coffee roll.
Yeah, they didn't have
Francis
my donut.
I believe more than ever that Francis Tumblety did write the From Hell letter.
After reviewing all the evidence and witnesses,
We have a iced tea here if you need some.
Jack the Ripper murders
You
in the
drink,
Whitechapel
okay?
area.
Mhm.
Following profile emerges.
I hear the Pope goes.
Mystery Quest is investigating two suspects that could finally reveal the identity of the infamous serial killer, Jack the Ripper. This profiler believes he can determine the real killer using modern forensic techniques. This physiologist believes a woman could have committed the murders. This former police officer believes an American doctor was the likely killer. And this handwriting expert thinks the writer of the infamous From Hell letter was the murderer. Brent Turvey has examined the existing crime scenes and reviewed the evidence. He has now
You didn't bring a
constructed
charger,
a
did you?
21st century
Does that charger
criminal
work that's in here?
profile on this 19th century serial killer.
Does it?
Yeah.
After reviewing all the evidence and witness statements and available material in the Jack the Ripper murders in the Whitechapel area, following profile emerges. First and foremost, you have the fact that local knowledge is not really necessary. The second thing is that while there's a great deal of medical knowledge, there's not a lot of skill involved. The cuts are very jagged, very long, very messy. Also, the nature of the injuries, the overkill, the brutality. This evidence is an anger retaliatory murder, so there's a lot of anger in these crime scenes. And the other thing is that because of the specific type of anger, the specific type of injuries to the female areas of the body, the genitals, the breasts, and the removal of the womb and the uterus, this is an attack on femininity. This is an evidence of misogyny. This person hates women and hates femininity. finally, we also have evidence that because this person has gone in and they've done this in a very deliberate but quick manner. It's almost a psychopathic cruise to the crime.
Now Turvey can compare his criminal profile to the evidence unearthed on the chief suspects. First, Mary Pearson, a woman put on trial for killing her lover's wife and child.
Local knowledge is not necessary. However, we do know that she lived about 4 miles away from the chapel. Requires medical knowledge, not medical experience. We just simply don't have any evidence that Mary Piercy had any medical knowledge. Of course, Mary Piercy did have an anger category motive. However, it was very specific, directed toward a specific set of people, a very specific set of
Rhode Island TF Green International Airport. Rhode Island TF Green International Airport.
It wasn't about anger towards femininity. It wasn't about the need to feminize and humiliate. It was about expressing rage or unrequited love. That brings us to the final characteristic, and that is the calm and collected execution of the murders. In reality, this does not fit Mary Piercy at all. She was an extremely emotional person.
Mary Piercy's character profile.
Ooh, excuse me.
The criminal profile of Jack the Ripper.
The character of Mary Piercy that emerges is one of someone who is obsessed. This crime
So
is
hot,
almost
can't drink it. You say?
Thank you.
Turvey now turns to Francis Tolan. Tolan visited England and records show that he arrived in London in June 1888, shortly before the killer began targeting prostitutes.
The reality is that he would solicit prostitutes on the main road, and they would take him to their
I didn't have to show you the way.
location, much as with prostitutes today.
92 Pro FM.
Providence.
While he regarded himself as a doctor, when forced to produce credentials, he actually had fabricated medical certificates from universities.
Providence, New Bedford.
So he didn't possess any real medical skill or knowledge that wasn't self-taught. Jack the Ripper essentially had an idea of where we were going to go. He had an idea of what he wanted, and that fits precisely with Francis Tolan. We have multiple sources calling him a woman hater. And this goes right back to point number 3 on the profile that has emerged of Jack the Ripper, of someone who is anger retaliatory. And then also misogynistic, angry at women, hating femininity. This fits very well with Francis Tolan because he did not like women, and he made no secret of it. Point number 5 is that we have an offender, Jack the Ripper, who is calm, collected, and deliberate. Tumblety not only collected preserved uteruses of all kinds, but he also organized and sorted them by social class. It's a very psychopathic character, so you have to really view the person that you're dealing with as an object.
Turvey's character profile of Francis Tolan appears to closely match that of the criminal profile of Jack the Ripper.
It's really becoming very clear that Francis Tolan is at the top of a very
thought we were going to, Nana's. I was going that way.
And the search is underway for evidence that may unlock
I still left my seed cord at Nana's house. Ma, I still left my seed cord at Nana's house.
I know, look at it.
Just after the clock strikes the new year, Kathy Lutz puts her youngest child, Missy, to bed.
Good night.
She heads downstairs to sit in front of the fire. Suddenly, a hooded figure materializes from the flames. A demon reaching out from another dimension. This was the story of the Amityville Horror, but could it be happening again? A ghostly figure moving across a room. A door opening on its own. A sudden drop in temperature. Many believe violent or tragic events at the location. Suicide, death, even murder. Can trap lost spirits who have died.
Can I take a sip of your coffee?
Huh?
Can I take a sip
It's
of your
wicked
coffee?
hot. Even feel the cup.
The best known case was experienced by
Wicked
the
hot, babe.
Lutz
When it cools, I'll let you have a sip.
in 1975.
I can't even take a sip.
I didn't know.
You want some iced tea? I mean, juice. I got juice in here. Grape juice.
Objects moving on their own. And even demonic spirits taking the shape of animals and children.
Billy spent 28 days in
And
the house.
juice?
They experienced a plethora of phenomena.
This photo was taken by the local news crew after the Lutz family fled. It appears to show the ghost of a young boy in the doorway. While still unexplained, many believe it is rumored that the house had been taken over by demons.
I can't even put the drink in the cup holder. Can you help me, please?
The house
Huh?
is considered by many to be the most diabolical haunting in history.
You keeping your cup like that?
Say it is
What?
no
You're keeping your cup like that?